Morning, everyone. Bill Hurtado with Transwest Truck Trailer RV in Frederick, Colorado. Frederick, Colorado, we're about 25 miles north of Denver right here. So even though you see my 714 number on the Chiron down below there, it's actually, we're here in Colorado, and I'd like to talk to you today about this brand new 2024 Winnebago EKKO. Now, the EKKO came out in 2022, and since then, both Ford on the Transit and Winnebago on the EKKO have made some little adjustments and improvements that are quite nice. We'll talk about that a little bit as we go. But let's talk first about the chassis right here. The Ford Transit, I took the liberty of getting the original window sticker here for the Ford Transit. And one thing that jumped out at me was on the motorhome prep package, this thing has the Sync 4 HD Nav IACC. Now that sounds like a mouthful of mumbo jumbo, but basically you'll know that this is the upgraded chassis because of the larger touchscreen up in the center. So we'll look at that near the end of this video. But the beauty of the Ford Transit, coupled with the Winnebago EKKO here, is a lot of people prefer a gas engine because they can get fuel just about anywhere. They also wish to have four-wheel drive, or in this case, all-wheel drive, which of course we do have right here also. The narrower stance on this, on the Ford Transit chassis, means that we don't have some huge bulkheads like we used to call them back in the old days, or wing walls outside right here. So the overall width on this unit is only 86.5 inches wide. Take, for example, the Navion that we sell. Basically the next size up from this is 94. So a huge difference there in width. And where that really comes into play is traveling down the highway, side streets, freeway, it doesn't matter. Your stance in the lane is greatly diminished, so it's much easier to keep yourself centered right there. Greater visibility around the sides as well. Don't have to have mirrors that stick out this far. So all around, this is just a fantastic setup and mating between coach and chassis right here. That EcoBoost engine's been out since 2011. It's tried and true. The 10-speed transmission that goes with that is absolutely phenomenal, with manual override if you so desire. And 310 horsepower, 400 foot-pounds of torque. You know, that is a wonderful, wonderful acceleration with that twin turbo. You know, turbo lag at the beginning. Great fuel economy because you're not having your foot dumped down into the accelerator most of the time. So most people are getting right around 15 miles per gallon average with this. So on that 31-gallon fuel tank, that's a big range. You can do the math for me. So really nice there. The chassis has come so far with the upgrades that they've done. It's purposely fit for a motorhome. So that's one of the options on that Ford Transit here. So let's talk a little bit about other things as we go around. You can't experience this yourself, but this is a nice, heavy, fully insulated door right here. And the screen that comes on this thing is very thick gauge aluminum, and it's actually welded. It's not screwed together. It's got a very tough dog guard, if you will. So really impressed with what Winnebago's done, and that's something that they're doing across the board, but not all manufacturers go to that length to make the perfect product right there. Now, this particular one, we've got a storage area outside over here. On other EKKOs, there is an optional slide out with a Dometic freezer and another cooktop. That extra cooktop could have a long cord that goes over to the LP hookup back there. but it is not available when you have the pop top like this model does. So a bit of a trade-off there, but you can always put your own appliance in there that you wish to have, be it that freezer or cooktop, and you've still got the LP port outside to connect up to that. So not the end of the world by not having the outdoor cooking station or tailgate package as they call it, because there's ways around that. The pop top is one of the most sought after features on the EKKO and has been since its inception a couple years ago. Now, standard patio outlets outside right here. And then this, of course, is you can run a television on AC or DC power outside over here. In case I forget to mention it, up in the front of this thing in the house portion up there, it does have the optional television in the front console up there. Whether it did or did not, it would still have the 2 coax connections inside that compartment. So it's pre-wired for satellite up on the top, and of course it has a direct connection to cable from a park outside. So you can hook up to either of those and then continue right on through to here. This has the Truma AquaGo system. This is a circulatory system for the hot water. So you basically have instant hot water and unlimited at that point. So on demand, be it on propane or electric, great setup right there. I mentioned the outdoor patio outlet for, or rather LP port for the patio. So you can put different appliances outside here. This little feature right here, you haven't seen on motorized units very often, if at all. And this looks like basically a towable setup. Trailers have this. The beauty of having the removable bottles is that you can be out somewhere and do an exchange if you run out, versus having to take the entire motorhome and search for a place that may be able to fill it for you. So the flexibility here is priceless in my opinion. I really like that. How about, you know, a lot of you that have watched my videos know that I like to throw in my 2 cents of service experience. I was a service tech RV service tech for over 30 years, and not many people understand this auto switchover valve. So just FYI, let me tell you how this works. Right now we're showing red, and this is pointing to this tank. So that means that this tank is either turned off or empty. Well, let's just assume that we're starting off fresh and both tanks are full. The proper way to use this system is to have both bottles on. This going to the left tank will show green because there is more than 15 PSI inside this tank. Now, when it drops below that 15 PSI, it's simulating being empty. It's virtually empty at that point. Well, this green becomes red. So you walk up here and you say, oh, red, this tank is empty. Well, unbeknownst to you, the valve has automatically started drawing from the other tank. So the way it works is you will then flip this over to this tank, blink, it turns green. Now you can safely remove this tank, go exchange it or fill it, put it back and start again. So you're alternating back and forth every time you use your propane. Hope that clears things up for people. That is the right way to use it. Over the years, I've heard people say, oh, you know, you put it in the middle. No, none of that. You do it exactly the way I showed you, both tanks open. This is merely an indicator to tell you what that tank is doing at that point. Okay, so now I won't get too technical on you from this point on. One of the nice things about the EKKO is the amazing storage across the back here. There's 3 different ways into this compartment right here. This has the very heavy duty MOLLE rail right here for hanging accessories on that. I went ahead and opened the pop top, but I put the ladder back in here. I think you guys will be able to see in there if we just hold the camera up on the pop top so you can see the size of that. This comes with, if you look right over here, there's tie down pieces that go into that L track, which is right next to it right there. There are 4 L tracks in here, 2 on the bottom, 2 on the top. So you can tie down in multiple ways right here. This also has AC and DC power on both ends. It has a heat port from the Truma heater system over there, which is closable. If you want to get maximum efficiency to the inside of the unit, you don't need to heat this area. And like I say, 3 ways into this. That is a removable pan down on the bottom, which will slide out. You can clean it and throw it back in there. Overall, this is a magnificent storage area for this unit. I believe it was 63.5 cubic feet of outside storage right here. So that's great. On a unit this size, to have that much space inside is wonderful. Okay, so the proximity sensors or lane mitigation sensors right here, which are also coupled in with the Ford system up front, are greatly improved. You know, they're the better ones because they're larger. They stick out a little bit further right here. So something to look at there. You've also got your sensors here, front and back. When you're backing up, you get close to something, of course, it's going to give you the audible warning. I showed you how there's 3 ways into this unit. There is a 5,000 pound hitch down on this. Now, there's a little bit of controversy about what the actual tow rating is on this. And I'm gonna kind of stick to my guns with the numbers. In that, there's 4,000 pounds difference between GVWR and GCWR. So in my opinion, this is really a 4,000 pound towable unit, okay? Despite the fact that it has a 5,000 pound hitch. Well, Winnebago didn't want the hitch to be the weakest link in the chain, so of course they put the next size up there. But we're gonna call this a 4,000 pound tow rating, okay? So be aware of that when you're selecting a towed car back here. All LED lights inside and out. I think the life expectancy of the LED lights now is 50 years. So if it goes out, something else may be wrong, because it's highly unusual for that to happen. Just wanted to point out on this side that, as you can see, it does have the 12 volt and 110 outlet on both sides. So not just the patio outlet over on the other side, you can get some AC power over here as well. All right, so the wet bay. The wet bay on this has gravity fill up on the top for the fresh tank, which is 50 gallon capacity. That's really good. That has a 51 gallon gray tank on this. So good matching amount of volume right there. As you work down, you see it does have the outside shower connection. And one thing I failed to mention, we also have this outside shower connection over in the compartment by the front door. So you can spray hot and cold water on both sides of this thing outside. Now, the manifold system right below that, depending on what you want to do, you don't have to gravity fill that 50 gallons of fresh water here. You can go to the power fill tank and follow the solution right here. Now when you're hooked up to city water, that will automatically start filling the fresh water tank. When you see it shoot out underneath, you know it's full. Then it's time to go back to the normal position, okay? Or if you're at a campground, the city water position. This is also a heated compartment that has the same closure that the back storage compartment does. And Very simple to winterize this unit. Just follow the instructions here, and you can draw antifreeze right into this thing through the city fill. So wonderful setup. With the gravity drain that's on this thing coming straight down and the tank up much higher up here, I gotta tell you, you're gonna get every drop out of this thing. So for sanitation purposes, let's say, this thing is really nice. You're not gonna have anything left over in that tank after you dump. There's also a light back here so you can see what you're doing if you're doing this at night, trying to get hooked up. Now this pop top model has a huge flexible solar panel up on the top right there, and it's expandable over here if you so desire. So you could have additional solar on this thing. And then you saw in the back compartment we had our 30 amp shore cord that'll connect up here. So when you're hooked up at a campground, you can have all the electricity that direction, that way. The Truma system. I have the same system on my RV. And this is a really amazing heating technology that's been around for a few years now, not that long, but it's something that was built and designed in Germany, and similar to the AquaGo for the water heater on the other side, this is a circulatory system that feeds the glycol, or heat transfer fluid. When you go to buy that, it's going to say heat transfer fluid, out of the reservoir that's heated up via propane or electricity on this thing. And it's extremely efficient. It's very nice, even heating through the entire unit. So kudos to Truma. They have done a great job on that. It's a wonderful, wonderful system. I really, really love mine. Okay, little extra storage down here. Not huge, but nice to have more than just the one in the back. This unit has a cassette toilet, which is separate from the rest of the water system in here. A lot of products do nowadays, and this system is easily, okay, I got the valve turned on the inside, I can't pull it out. This cassette toilet, or this cassette tank, comes out right here. It's 5 gallons. You can go over and dump that wherever you want. What's nice about that is a lot of people carry a second one with them so they can swap them out. Now you've doubled your expansion of waste from the toilet. Once that does pull out and it's not in the flush mode, that seals itself, so there's no fumes or odors coming off of that as well. So nice system. If you choose to keep this unit winterized and use it, say, going up to the ski resort or so, carry some of your own fresh water with you. You can still run it down the sink drains, the bathroom sink drain. It can go into the gray tank because that is heated from the Truma system down there. But you don't have to worry about anything freezing up, and you can still use the toilet. So big plus right there. All right, so what you don't see down here is the small tailpipe from a generator. That's because this one has the upgraded Lithionics battery pack down here. Now, the standard build for the Lithionic battery pack is going to be a single 320. That's a 320 amp battery, identical to what comes in the Revel. What you can see if you move this way a little bit is there's a second one right behind it. So now we've gone from 320 up to 640 ampere hours of battery power. So that is the battery pack upgrade. Okay, that's what Winnebago calls it. You get a credit for not having the generator on there to offset the cost of the Lithionics right there. Lithium batteries are absolutely wonderful. They last such a long time. I don't know until I get some feedback from people. I've sold a lot of these with a single 320. I've sold a lot of Rebels with a single 320, and I haven't heard of anybody running out of power. There's actually a Bluetooth connection that comes from here to an app on your phone, so you can constantly monitor the state of the batteries directly from your cell phone. So I don't know if it's a bit redundant having two of those, but depending on how much time you want to be boondocking or off-grid, that could be a huge plus for you right there. I mentioned on the Truma system that it's a circulatory system that goes around the entire perimeter of this and blows out in different areas for even heating throughout. And that apparatus down there that you see with the yellow on there, that is part of that Truma system with the circulation pump. And as you can see, there's a little heat duct blowing down into there as well. So not only is it keeping your plumbing at a higher temperature down there, but also your batteries. So very nice system there. I mentioned a few things about the Ford Transit. I'm a huge fan. I absolutely love the way this thing drives. It handles like a dream. The 10-speed transmission, the 310 horsepower, the 400 pound-feet of torque, the twin turbo, the all-wheel drive. It's hitting all the buttons for me. This is something that I would definitely want for myself. There's a nice ergonomic dash up there. Now you can see that larger touch screen in the center. That has connectivity for both Android and Apple CarPlay. Super nice features on this. Bi-xenon HD headlights. Great headlights on this thing. So just wanted to show you under the hood right here how easy it is to get to everything. Whether it's your oil fill, your check, your transmission check, your brake fluid, your coolant recovery, windshield washer fluid, everything is very, very simple to get to. Chassis fuses are all inside this port right here. Easy connection to your battery, which that should be flipped back over that way. So great setup, great setup. All right, let's take a look at a couple things inside. The inside really hasn't changed much since its inception in 2022. Personally, I think the colors that they had with the red countertops and overhead doors and the red kind of plaid looking seats was not a good look, but they sold like hotcakes. Again, they've just done some improvements on it. All right. We come all the way up inside here so you can kind of see. There's two huge windows on the sides, and these are those. Is that? Oh, I thought I heard the awning moving. That was something else. These dual polycarbonate windows are really nice, not just for insulation, but for outside noise. You can see the red handles on that side, black handles on this side. Red handles are indicative of being an escape route in case of an emergency. These windows have multiple positions in a jalousie style that they will go out, so they can be open when it's raining. And they have a full block out or a screen, which will come together, and you can have those all the way up or all the way down, depending on what you want to do there. So really great setup. As you guys start moving that way, you may have to kind of look over my shoulder or I'll duck down, because I want to point out a couple other things back here that Winnebago did in this design that I really love. By the way, these are jump seats for the front. We'll talk about that in a minute. So down here, you do have storage drawers on both sides, and you have hanging closets on both sides. Now, both sides also have the ability to raise this up and access both of those areas from the top this way. These beds are extremely comfortable, not just because of the memory style foam mattress here, but also the Frawley system that Winnebago has exclusively down here. So great sleeping in this thing. All right. I think that covers the bedroom pretty well. We do have an exhaust fan back there. If you're cooking, you can obviously get the exhaust back out that direction. But on a really hot day when you don't want to run the air conditioning, you can open those two front windows in the cab just a little bit, turn that on, and it's going to expel all the heat out of here through the back. So all the way from the front to all the way in the back is how you get full ventilation that way. Okay, bathroom. The bathroom has been the number one thing about the EKKO that is most loved by everybody, because they have taken a relatively small space right here and utilized it with every possible feature you could want. So let's talk about this for a sec. Got a separate sink from the galley over here, so you can actually clean up in there, brush your teeth in there, you know, while you're in the bath area. The toilet is that cassette style, and that will spin around over here. Right now, it's turned to the right so that there's more room to stand in here, so you're at the sink. It has the same dual polycarbonate window over there with all the same features. Full block out screen, multiple position on the jalousie. So very nice there as well. Little medicine cabinet up above. And when you're looking at this thing, in case you haven't seen one of these before, you may be asking yourself, well, there's a shower drain, but I don't see a shower. And that's what's really cool about the EKKO, how they have, and let's face it, they stole this idea from the Europeans, and that's okay. They have integrated the shower into the same space. So by moving that wall with the sink, now we have a nice big shower. I'm 6 foot, 250 pounds. I could use this just fine. This would work great. So small amount of real estate taken up here inside this unit with maximum space benefits. So I do love that. One of the little improvements, just so you know, on the older EKKOs, they repositioned and reconfigured the shower head up here. Used to be over this way a little bit more, and you had to lay that down on the floor every time you wanted to close this thing up. It wouldn't close all the way with the shower head up. So, little improvement right there. All right, there goes my name tag. Did the same thing when I was looking at it earlier. So, in the galley area, I do have a 2-burner, and that has the piezo igniter right there, so you don't have to have a lighter or matches or anything else. So it comes its own backsplash right there. We've got the 900 watt microwave oven. A little bit of extra space for storage up above. Decent size 18 gauge stainless steel sink. And short drawer right here with our remotes in there. We have a much longer drawer down below for extra storage. Might be tough for you to see in here, but there is a cold water filtration system that's connected right there to the kitchen sink. That is one of the, there's one back over here behind me, there's one right here, there's one at the seating over here. Those are the heat discharge ducts for that Truma system. All right, little extra pantry space over on this side with adjustable shelves. And many smaller units like this are going to have a 4 cubic foot refrigerator. You get bigger than this, they start at a 6 cubic foot refrigerator. This one's right in between. This is a 5 cubic foot. I see one of the things they've changed on this This is now a fixed freezer compartment. In previous models, there was a way to take this and slide this thing out and store it away, and the whole thing became fridge. Didn't work very well. It was a little bit tough on the plastic. So, separate fridge and freezer. Indirect lighting, here, up here, both sides. Not doing it in the back. They were doing it in the back before, but they're not now. So really nice if you want to have just that indirect lighting on when you're traveling down the road. It's not going to interfere with the driver in any way, but the co-pilot can come back here and move around and do some things. So nice setup in that regard. No storage underneath these jump seats back here, because that's where our heating system is, down below there. And we do have a flip-up table right here. Remember, those seats will both swing around and face this way. So creates a nice dinette right here. And then a third table I want to show you right over here. This is really cool. There's a lot more to this table than what meets the eye. So this thing right here can become, that'll slide down and it can become a table for this person sitting over here. So 3 people can comfortably eat in this thing. What's also nice about this is it can actually be raised on that rail down there a little bit and integrate into the galley over here. So it can be on an even level right in here and give you that much more cooking and working space. So kind of multifunctional in that regard. Obviously, if I tighten everything down, it's not going to be swiveling around, but very smart. They did a great job on designing that. Little slot over here is how we store this thing. Okay, so very nice. I mentioned that this has the optional television and sound bar mounted up here in the front. And then it's going to come with this Blu-ray player up above here. But take a peek back in there, and let me just point some things out. Working from left to right, we have the cable connection from outside, and then we have the AC power with a transformer to go up to for 12-volt operation. Over here we've got the antenna slash pre-wire for satellite over here. So again, just so you know, when that light is on, you're getting power from the TV antenna. When that light is off, it's getting power from the pre-wire for satellite. And then of course you've got your HD cable connector over there for other media coming into the TV. So that's going to be in here whether this is or not. Great setup. You don't have to watch TV with that big light glaring off of there. And last but not least, just kind of point out a couple things in the cab area up here. This thing is going to be screaming at me, ding, 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 if I turn this on because the seat is turned around. So a little bit of an annoying sound right there. Let's just leave that off. The screen size now with that Sync 4 is what this has on this 24 model is much larger. Of course, you've got the connection for Apple CarPlay or your, what's my other phone system? What is it?
Android.
Android, thank you. Does them both. So you can have either on there. And very simple to, to get through this thing. Multiple cameras around this thing for full view. It's got a really nice system for navigation. And part of that Sync 4 that I learned recently is this thing will automatically update via the cloud. So you don't have to go in, you don't have to change a chip, you don't have to take it in, you don't have to try and hook something else up to it. It's all automatic now. So really, really nice in that regard. Other than that, things are pretty much standard right here. You're always going to have your all-wheel drive in play 100% of the time. I think we got there. So a lot of cool stuff on this 24 EKKO now. This is the only one I've got. They've been very difficult to get this product right here. MSRP from Winnebago on this is $225 and some change. I am not allowed to mention price, but I would urge you to give me a call so I can talk to you about it, because I can treat you very well on this. My name is Bill Hurtado with Transwest Truck Trailer RV. I think on the Chiron down below, I don't get to use that word very often. I hear it on the news, I learned it, so I got to use it. That's going to give you the phone number and email so you can contact me directly. I look forward to hearing from you. Anything I missed, I'm glad to go over with you via email, phone, or text, or however you like it. So thanks for checking in today. Good to be with you, and talk to you soon. Thanks.